Okay, so I was just doom scrolling as I do because I don't know, I'm just avoiding doing some tasks. And I just saw this one uh, TikTok. It was this guy who was speaking on the power of doing things as soon as you think about them. Let's say you have an idea and usually you have an idea you think is good, so you write on your phone notes or a piece of paper, or maybe you just remember it later. But you have this one idea, and instead of just, it's like you make yourself feel a sense of, I don't know how to explain it. If you make yourself feel a sense of urgency and to just execute the idea as soon as possible. Maybe you can't execute right now because you're busy, actually busy, not because you're just laying down and being lazy. No, as soon as you get the idea, you write it down, and if possible, you execute it right there. If not, right after you're done doing whatever you're doing. And if imagine we live life that way, at least most of the time, just executing ideas as soon as they come to you and not waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect time or perfect conditions, because those never really arrive, and you just give yourself I don't know how to explain it, but put in your head that you need to visualize the idea and execute. Maybe you don't like the end result, but after you analyze the end result, you can work around the things that you could work on the things that you need to improve, and go from there and execute again and analyze. Okay, so it becomes this one system that you create for yourself of executing, maybe with some or no research about whatever the idea might be, and just executing, seeing the end result. You analyze whatever the flaws might have been or things that maybe you could have done better. So you work to improve on those things and you execute again, and now you get this new result, and you can compare it to the last one, and you will see, even if you think it's maybe minuscule or just not as big as you thought it would be of a difference, you can see clearly some improvements and differences. Even if nobody else can see them, you can, because you worked on them. So you will notice the things that you worked on to change. And then it's type of rinse and repeat, and you just execute, analyze, and rework on the flaws, and then execute again and analyze, and until it satisfies you and you think you don't need to touch it anymore, and you jump next to the next idea. Do you know what I mean? Like, am I making sense? Just make sure you execute on the ideas that you have, and because if the idea comes to you, because I don't know, you're just simply thinking, and at first you thought it was a good idea, execute it. Because if you let it linger, I think that's the right word. If you let it linger in your mind and not execute it, and eventually you will create flaws before you even execute them. You will create holes in the logic that you know what I mean. you will make up excuses to not do the thing that you knew you should have, or at least try something. Because if you're not trying, not too sure what you're doing, and I mean, we all think we should live this life of, or at least portray a facade of perfection, and you know, there's this fear of embarrassment and rejection in some forms, and from simply trying. And there's nothing wrong with trying things. That's how you learn. That's how you improve. That's how you evolve. That's how you learn yourself. How you learn to express yourself. How you learn to, express yourself through many different ways. I think it's important for you to just strive to execute as soon as possible and learn from your mistakes and other people's mistakes, and just eventually the fear of whatever judgment you might receive from whoever may be on the sideline won't bother you as much, and maybe you will inspire them to try things for themselves instead of, sticking to watching things from the sidelines. All right.